From translation, Net New English Translation. This 14th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Genesis 41 to 42. Genesis chapter 41, verses 1 to 57. Some time later it happened that Pharaoh was dreaming, and while he was dreaming, he was standing by the Nile. He saw 7 cows, fine-looking and fat, coming up out of the Nile from the reeds. After them, 7 other cows came up, poor-looking and very thin, and stood by the other cows along the bank of the Nile. The poor-looking, thin cows ate the 7 fine-looking, fat cows. Then Pharaoh woke up. He fell asleep again and dreamed a second time. This time he saw 7 heads of grain, full and good, growing on a single stalk. After them, 7 other heads of grain sprouted, thin and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 good heads of grain. Then Pharaoh woke up, and it was only a dream. In the morning his spirit was troubled, so he sent for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. Then the chief cupbearer told Pharaoh, "I must admit my guilt today. Once when Pharaoh was angry with his servants, I and the chief baker were placed under guard in the house of the captain of the guards. We each had a dream on the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. Now a young Hebrew was there with us, a slave of the captain of the guards. We told him our dreams, and he interpreted them for us, giving to each man the correct interpretation of his dream. Now it happened that when he interpreted our dreams for us, it was as he had interpreted them to us. He restored me to my position, but he hanged the baker. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. Now I have heard it said about you that when you hear a dream you can interpret it. Joseph replied to Pharaoh, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, In my dream I was standing on the bank of the Nile. 7 cows, fine-looking and fat, came up out of the Nile and grazed in the reeds. After them, 7 other cows came up, poor-looking and very thin, as I had never seen anything like them in all the land of Egypt. The thin, poor-looking cows ate the first 7 fat cows, but when they had devoured them, no one could tell that they had done so, for they were still as ugly as before. Then I woke up. In my dream I also saw 7 heads of grain, full and good, growing on one stalk. After them, 7 other heads of grain sprouted, thin and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 good heads of grain. I told this to the magicians, but no one could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, Pharaoh's dreams are one and the same. God has disclosed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads of grain are 7 years. Both are the same. The 7 thin, ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 thin, scorched heads of grain are 7 years. Both are the same. This is the message that the Lord has given to Pharaoh. What God is about to do he has shown to Pharaoh. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt. But 7 years of famine will follow them, when all the abundance in the land of Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will devastate the land. The abundance in the land will not be remembered because of the famine that follows, for the famine will be extremely severe. The fact that the dream was given to Pharaoh in 2 forms means that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will soon bring it about. So now let Pharaoh look for a man who is discerning and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint overseers over the land, and take 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. They should collect all the food of these good years that are coming and store up the grain under Pharaoh's authority, so that the food may be kept in the cities. That food should be held in reserve for the 7 years of famine that will occur in the land of Egypt, so that the land may not perish during the famine. This proposal seemed good to Pharaoh and to all his servants. Then Pharaoh said to his servants, Can we find a man like this, in whom the Spirit of God is? So Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one as discerning and wise as you are. You will be over my house, and all my people will obey your commands. Only in respect to the throne will I be greater than you. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh took off his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and clothed him in fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. He had him ride in his 2nd chariot, and they cried out before him, Bow the knee. So he set him over all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, but without your permission no one will lift hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zaphanath-Paneah, and gave him Asenath daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, as his wife. Joseph went throughout the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and traveled throughout all the land of Egypt. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food of these 7 years and stored up food in the cities. In each city he stored the food of the fields around it. So Joseph stored up grain like the sands of the sea, very much, until he stopped measuring it because it was beyond measure. Before the years of famine came, 2 sons were born to Joseph, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore for him. Joseph named the first Manasseh, for he said, "For God has made me forget all my hardship and all my father's household." He named the second Ephraim, for he said, "For God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering." The 7 years of abundance in the land of Egypt came to an end. The 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had said. There was famine in all the lands, but throughout the land of Egypt there was bread. When all the land of Egypt experienced the famine, the people cried out to Pharaoh for food. Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you." So the famine was spread over all the earth. And when all the land of Egypt came to Joseph to get grain, he sold it to them, for the famine was severe throughout the land of Egypt. From all the lands people came to Egypt to get grain, because the famine was severe in all the lands. So when all the land of Egypt experienced the famine, Joseph opened up all the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout the land of Egypt. Genesis chapter 42, verses 1 to 39. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you keep looking at one another?" He also said, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy grain for us there, so that we may live and not die." So 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's youngest brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he thought, "What if some disaster happens to him?" So the sons of Israel came to buy grain among the other travelers, for the famine was in the land of Canaan as well. Now Joseph was the ruler of the land. He was the one who sold grain to all the people of the land. Joseph's brothers came and bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke harshly to them. He said to them, "Where have you come from?" They said, "From the land of Canaan to buy grain for food." Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Joseph remembered the dreams he had dreamed about them, and said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land." But they said to him, "No, my lord, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all sons of one man, we are honest men, your servants are not spies." But he said to them, "No, you have come to see the nakedness of the land." They said, "Your servants are 12 brothers, sons of our father in the land of Canaan. Look, the youngest is with our father now, and one is no more." But Joseph said to them, "It is just as I said to you. You are spies, by this you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave here unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you and let him get your brother, while the rest of you remain confined. Then you will know if you are spies or not, by whether your youngest brother comes here or not." So Joseph imprisoned them all for 3 days. On the 3rd day Joseph said to them, "Do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers remain here confined, while the rest of you go and take grain back to relieve the famine in your households. But you must bring your youngest brother to me, so that your words may be verified and you may not die." They did so. They said to one another, "Surely we are being punished because of our brother, for we saw his severe distress when he pleaded with us, but we would not listen. That is why this distress has come upon us." Reuben said to them, "Did I not tell you, do not sin against the boy, but you would not listen. Now comes the reckoning for his blood." They did not know that Joseph could understand them, since he was speaking through an interpreter. He turned away from them and wept. Then he returned to them and spoke to them. He imprisoned Simeon from among them, and then sent them away. Joseph gave orders to fill their bags with grain, to restore every man's money to his sack, and to give them provisions for the journey. He did this for them. So they loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed. When they came to the resting place, one of them opened his sack to feed his donkey, and he saw his money in the mouth of his sack. He said to his brothers, "My money has been returned to me. Here it is in my sack." Their hearts sank, and they trembled one man to another and said, "What is this that God has done to us?" They came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, and told him all that had happened to them, saying, "The man who is the Lord of the land spoke harshly to us, and treated us as if we were spies of the land. He said to us, 'I have learned that you are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land.' But we said to him, 'We are honest men, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is with our father today in the land of Canaan.' But the man who is the Lord of the land said to us, 'By this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers with me, and take grain to relieve the famine in your households, and go. But bring your youngest brother to me, so that I may know that you are not spies, but are honest men. Then I will give your brother back to you, and you may travel through the land.' As they were emptying their sacks, there was each man's bag of money in his sack. When they and their father saw all the money bags, they were afraid. Then Jacob their father said to them, "You have bereaved me of my children. Joseph is gone, Simeon is gone, and now you want to take Benjamin. All these things are against me." Reuben said to his father, "My own 2 sons you may put to death if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my care, and I will bring him back to you." But Jacob said, "My son will not go down there with you, for his brother is dead and he alone is left. If harm comes to him on the journey you take, then you will bring my grey hairs down to Sheol in sorrow."